Embattled Los Angeles City Councilman Kevin De Leon is still facing repeated calls to resign over a scandal sparked by racist comments caught on tape. Other members of the council have resigned or plan to because of this whole scandal, but De Leon is defiant, refusing to do so. He's encountered fierce backlash since an audio recording of this racist conversation with other council members leaked back in October, and he's since largely been out of the public eye, returning to the council really for the first time just on Friday. And look what happened when De Leon made his return to the council chamber.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to call a brief recess of this meeting.
Joining me right now for an exclusive interview, LA City Councilman Kevin De Leon. Councilman, thank you for coming on. I know that we've been working on trying to have this conversation for quite some time. Friday's meeting was the first that you've attended, I believe, since October 11th or early October. Were you surprised by the reaction of the council members who left in protest, and also people in the community who are clearly still very upset and not over this scandal?
Well, good morning, Kate. Unfortunately, I wasn't quite surprised by a handful of individuals who serve on the city council with them walking out. Obviously, it's unfortunate, but nonetheless, I came on Friday to get back to work. You know, the past 2 months, I've been taking a lot of reflection, working with my constituents, as well as having conversations, not just with my constituents in the district, but with constituents or folks outside the district, with many communities, but in particular, the African American community. Let me underscore something. This is something that I have profoundly taken a lot of reflection, but I rolled up my sleeves and I'm getting back to work, engaging with my constituents every single day, and that's why I returned back on Friday.
There is, in the city charter, it does say that an office becomes vacant when an office holder is absent from the city without the consent of the council for more than 60 days. Your attendance on Friday to that council meeting was, depending on how you count it, either exactly the 60-day mark or just before. I know you said you wanted to return to get back to work, but is that also why you showed up, in order to avoid a fight over your seat?
No, because today, for example, we have a council meeting, and I'll be attending the council meeting today as well. Let me be very clear. 90 to 95% of the work for the City Council in Los Angeles is actually done with city departments and city heads. And that's what I've been exactly doing with me and my staff, who've been wonderful during this very difficult time. We've received a tremendous amount of support from the community, and that's why I continue to serve. I continue to serve because, you know, the stories that you just talked about with regards to inflation and how it's impacted, especially disproportionately communities of color. The district I represent, by far and large, is a Latino immigrant community. I am the epicenter for homelessness, not just in the city of LA, but nationwide. And that's why I continue to serve, because folks have been struggling, especially during the post-pandemic, as well as the threat of being evicted because of the eviction moratorium that will soon be lifted in the city of Los Angeles.
But so, just so everyone out there understands, and I know you know this, every leader involved in this scandal, either including the now former council president, they've all resigned or are leaving because of the mess that this has created. Why are you not resigning? I know you say you still have work to do, but other members, the points that the council members are making still today about this whole thing is that they say that the city cannot heal if you are still there. And one member saying that your continued presence on the council is causing severe and ongoing harm.
Well, let me say this, Kate, and let me be very clear about this. In a democracy, the voters make the decision, not folks who are in the peanut gallery or political pundits or even my own colleagues. You know, tens of millions of Americans go to work every single day with folks that they don't like. But you know what they do every morning? They get up and they go to work. And they don't have the luxury, perhaps, of some folks do when they want to walk out. I'm here to do the business of my constituents, and that's what I've worked for tirelessly, and that's what I'm going to continue to do. I can tell you this, and I want to underscore and emphasize the following. If you don't think I'm profoundly sorry, you know, for participating in that meeting, or for not standing up and shutting that meeting down and shutting down the vitriolic comments from then president of the council, who did eventually resign, that's something I'm forever will be sorry for. And that's why I'm having the constructive conversations and dialogue with folks outside the community.
I totally understand, but it wasn't it wasn't just that you didn't stand up. You also took part in the conversation. I mean, in it, you said you compared the young black child of a fellow councilman to being an accessory, like a luxury handbag.
Well, let me give this some context, because one thing I really wish that the media did was provide context and sort of, it was much more nuanced, these general comments. Now,
I mean, I can
then
I
Council
can play
President-
it for them, and we don't need to. I mean,
No, I
I can.
know. Yeah.
Let's play. Then let everybody hear what you said. Here, let me play this.
What I want to say, well,
Let's play it.
Can't the one here, that's it, the down.
Lo trae así during Black History Month, lo lleva al council y lo pone acá en el. Remember, lo trae. It's an accessory. When we do the MLK parade,
Just like when
They used to have those statues
What?
in
Lo traes, right?
plantations,
wait,
didn't
yeah,
they?
like when Nori
In the
brings
front.
her Goyard bag or the Louis Vuitton bag.
Yeah, I mean, you have said in subsequent interviews, and you say you're profoundly sorry that you have failed in leadership and accept responsibility. But what exactly was the mistake that you made that you are apologizing for?
well, obviously there was I shouldn't have said what I said, because it was actually a comment. I was criticizing actually Councilwoman Nuri Martinez for her penchant for luxury handbags, and it's again, apologetic. I shouldn't have said that, clearly, and I've apologized to Mike Bond and as well as his family. That's something that I shouldn't have said, and I apologize for that. It was my inartful way of criticizing then Council President woman Nuri Martinez for her penchant for luxury handbags.
Before I let you go, I did want to ask you, because you're on tape making fun of a colleague's young black child when there's a racist conversation that's occurring. That colleague, who's a fellow Democrat, now still considers you, and his words are, a vile racist, is how he puts it, Councilman. You've been absent from the committee since October. The council meetings have been shut down multiple times over this scandal due to community members protesting and the committee not being able to operate the council. And then last week you got into a physical fight, no matter who started it, and I know there is video that has come out to show how serious the altercation did become, but you got into a fight then on Friday with an activist. If this was anyone else, would you say that the person I just described is serving their community well?
Now, let me say this, Kate, that's not the person who I am. Let me underscore that. I have a body in a history of progressive, policies that have improved the human condition for all individuals, regardless of who you are, and regardless of where you come from, regardless of the color of your skin or your legal status, or who you love or which God you pray to. That's who I am. I've made California a 100% clean energy state. I was sued by the Department of Justice then under Donald Trump when they made California a sanctuary state. I negotiated a deal to provide driver's license for undocumented immigrants. That's who I am, and those are my values, and those are my principles. That's not the person who folks have been describing, and it's unfortunate that then Councilmember Mike Bonin continues his campaign against me, but I will continue to serve my voters. They will make the ultimate decision.
And they will. It'll be some time before voters get a say once again on that seat. Thank you very much for your time, Councilman. I appreciate your time.
Kate. Good morning.
Thank you.